Percy Jackson now has two different adaptations with the movie and the shows. One is terrible and one is pretty good. The characters are very different from the books though, so I decided to ask AI what these characters are supposed to look like based on the novels. I'm gonna put it in real time and react to it, and obviously this is unscripted. I did this with Harry Potter and Hunger Games if you want to check those out, and they did pretty well, so I thought why not do it for Percy Jackson. If you enjoy this video, hit that like button, it will greatly help the channel with the algorithm. And if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button, and you can also follow me on all of my other social medias, all of which are linked down below, and all of which house similar content that I make here on this channel. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. Obviously, the first one we're going to start with is Percy Jackson himself, the main character. How he's described in the novel and what I'm putting into the AI system is teenage boy, tan skin, disheveled jet black hair that is swept to one side, green eyes, sarcastic troublemaker smile, handsome, and orange t-shirt. So let's see what AI cooked up for us. Okay, yeah, I actually really like that. Obviously it's not an orange shirt. I guess they kind of went with green because I said green eyes. AI is weird sometimes. But yeah, the hair swept to one side mixed with the green eyes, and yeah, he's handsome. This is pretty accurate to what I pictured when reading the books. It's weird for me because I got into the Percy Jackson series like not that long ago, and at that point there was already the movies and I saw Logan Lerman. That's kind of what I pictured, but then as it went on, I started to picture more of what this AI created. And now we have Walker Scobell from the show, who obviously is very different from this. He has the blonde curly hair that isn't really accurate to the book. But honestly, I love Walker as Percy. As soon as they made that casting choice, I saw him in that movie with Ryan Reynolds, and I was immediately like, yes, that is Percy Jackson. And obviously, it's not really with the looks, but it's with how he acts and what he's like and his attitude and all of that. Rick Riordan, the author of the series, of course, chose him because he saw Percy Jackson in him, but not because of his looks, but because of just the person that he is. Alright, next is Annabeth Chase, and we obviously have two different versions of her, one from the movie and one from the show. So how the book described her is teenage girl, long curly blonde hair, tan skin, a slender athletic body, gray eyes, and orange Camp Half-Blood t-shirt. So let's see what AI cooked up. Honestly, that is very accurate to what I pictured. And honestly, it's weird because when I read the books, I pictured Logan Lerman, but I never pictured Alexandra Daddario. I think that's her name. Yeah, Alexandra Daddario when reading the book. But yeah, as soon as the book described her to have blonde hair, I had a different picture of her. And now we have Leah Jeffries, who obviously does not look like this. Leah Jeffries, though, is one of my favorite parts of the new show. I love her as Annabeth. And again, Rick Riordan didn't pick her because of her looks. He picked her because of just the way she acts and how she connects to Annabeth from the books. But yeah, they got the curly blonde hair, which I really like. They have the orange t-shirt that's not green this time. And honestly, this one, she's a little bit older here. This is kind of like Heroes of Olympus Annabeth rather than the original series Annabeth. Next, we have Grover. And in the books, he's described to be a tall satyr with curly brown hair, brown eyes, small horns, a wispy beard, and hairy brown goat legs. On top of that, he looks like a teenager and is wearing an orange t-shirt. And that is what I am putting into the AI system. Okay, I guess AI didn't understand what a satyr was. The top half of him is pretty good. The horns are a little bit longer than I would have expected. And like Annabeth, when you look at the movies, he does not look like this. And honestly, that Grover is so far from anything we ever saw in the book for Grover's character. Alright, next is Luke Castellan, and he is described to be a college-aged boy with short, sandy blonde hair, tan skin, mischievous smile, athletic, muscular build, blue eyes, sharp nose, attractive, thick scar down one side of his face, wearing leather armor over a t-shirt. So let us see what AI made up. They got the armor really well, but it looks like they weren't able to do the scar down the face, which is one of his most defining features. So besides not having the scar, I think that one is really, really good. I think they really got the athletic build and the attractiveness down. Like, you can see why a lot of girls would really like him. But overall, yeah, I love the armor. It's not an orange shirt, but we'll take it. Blue shirt. It's still a t-shirt. I think they got the blue from the blue eyes. Just like Percy, they had the green eyes and he got the green shirt. All right, next we have Clarisse La Rue, who is described in the books to be a teenage girl, to be the height of a basketball player, have a muscular body like a rugby player, and yes, that is direct quotes from the books, and to have dark pig eyes. Wow, this description is wild. Stringy pale brown hair, vicious sneer, orange t-shirt under leather armor. That description was something. All right, with all of that, I'm very interested to see what comes out for Clarisse, so let's take a look. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, that's not even close to what I pictured. That looks like a grown woman who's a bodybuilder, not a teenage girl. They got the orange t-shirt. Well, I don't even know if that's a t-shirt. That's more of a tank top. Is that what they call it? I don't know. They kind of got, no, I don't really see pig eyes there. But honestly, this is way scarier than Clarisse was in the novels. That is wild. Again, though, in the show, in the book, she doesn't look like this either. But in the show, she doesn't look like this. Again, they chose a different skin color for Clarisse. And I just want to say, I think that the casting in the show so far has been immaculate. I don't care what they look like. All I care about is that they act like the characters that I came to love in the books. And so far, they have hit on that so many times. Like, every single character, I've been like, yes, that is Percy. Yes, that is Annabeth. That is Grover. That is Luke. And that is Clarisse. Let's move on to the next character. We have Rachel Elizabeth Dare. She is described in the book to be a teenage girl, tall, slim, frizzy red hair, freckled face, green eyes, attractive, oversized shirt, blue jeans that have doodles and holes in them. So we don't actually have a Rachel Elizabeth Dare to compare it to in either the movies or the show, at least not yet. So I can't really show something to compare it, but yeah, let's see what AI came up with. Okay, wow, yeah, that one is very accurate to what I thought. They got the green eyes perfect, they got the red hair, and the freckles look really good. I don't know what the hell is going on with the shirt. What does that even say? Rickle? I don't know. But if you just look at the face, I love it. If you just like, the face is actually kind of perfect. Rachel is one of the most interesting characters, and I'm very excited to see her in the show because she is just such like an out there character that I didn't expect to come in. I just fell in love with her character. Let's go to the next one, Nico Di Angelo. He is described in the book to be a teenage boy with messy black hair, pale white face. On top of that, he has a black outfit, black shirt that has a skull on it, a silver ring in the shape of a skull, aviator jacket, and dark sunken eyes. Okay, I think that's pretty descriptive, so I think this one might turn out well. I don't know, you never know with AI. Wow, okay, that one is really, really good. That one turned out really well. Obviously, the skull is not on the shirt, it's on the jacket, but, you know, good enough. And yeah, like, he does have the dark sunken eyes. That one was really well done. The hair too, like, yeah, I think the hair is, interestingly, that his hair is very similar to Percy's hair in the books, at least. I do really like the jacket too. I think the jacket is exactly what I pictured. But yeah, that one turned out really, really well. And again, like, I'm very excited to see what the show does with this character, who they cast. And I'm sure, like, knowing what they've done with the show so far, they will find the perfect person. I did make a video when the show was originally coming out. If you didn't know, I covered each episode on its own as soon as it came out. And I made an extra video about hearing Nico and Bianca and actually seeing them for a second as a little Easter egg when they were in the casino. But they were way in the background, and obviously like they're gonna recast. You couldn't really see what they looked like. I'm pretty sure it was them because Rick Riordan said that there are a lot of little things in the casino, and I think that was one of the big ones. Moving on to the next one, we have Calypso. In the novel, she is described to be a young woman who has braided caramel hair that hangs over one shoulder, dark almond-shaped eyes, a face that seems timeless but looks 16 years old, the most beautiful person in the world, and in parentheses, I said, I think this was Percy's description of her, is prettier than Aphrodite, and she was wearing a white sleeveless dress with a circular gold necklace. So let's see. Yeah, that's like a timeless face. She doesn't really look 16, maybe more like a college age kid, which is like, that's fine. You know, like she's hundreds of years old in the book. So they got the braid perfect, like coming, it's like braided over one shoulder. That AI did a great job with that one. And then the gold necklace, not exactly what we said, but pretty accurate. And then the dress is actually really accurate too. The dark almond shaped eyes are also really, really good. I think honestly, this one might be the best one so far. I think it is even better than the Percy one. It looks more natural. Some of the other ones, like you could tell it was AI, but this one, if you saw this photo, you'd be like, yeah, that might be a real picture. That might be a real person. Next is Juniper, who, if you don't know, was Grover's girlfriend. She is described to be a small and petite young girl with wispy hair the color of amber, a pretty elfish face, is beautiful, and has green skin. So in the novel, she is actually not human. She's a nymph. So I am curious. Let's see what we got. Oh, they got the green skin. Actually looks really good. And elfish with the elfish ears. Yeah, doesn't fully look human. Looks like a nymph. I think that one turned out really, really well. Yeah, she and Grover start dating later on, and I actually really like the relationship in the book. I think it really grounded Grover overall. But I do love the headband with the leaves. It really makes her more of a nymph because they're very like, the nymphs are basically in nature. Like that's their whole thing. After that, we have Thalia Grace. It took a long time for me to find out how to pronounce her name. I originally called her Thalia, thinking that the H was silent. And then I listened to the audiobooks and it was Thalia. That's how it was pronounced. And I did a bunch of research and that was kind of the consensus on how the name was said. Rick Riordan like oversaw the audiobooks and never really corrected them. And then recently, in like the last probably 6 months around when the show was coming out, he said her name. Like he himself said her name, which I don't think he's ever done. And he said it as Thalia. So like Thalia the first time I said it, but with the TH, the H is not silent. But anyway, she's described to be a teenage girl with shoulder length, spiky black hair, electric blue eyes, has freckles across her nose, is extremely pretty, is beautiful, has a punk goth style to her, is wearing a silver circle tiara, has dark eyeliner, is wearing a leather jacket over a black t-shirt. Alrighty, let's see what AI cooked up for Thalia. Okay, they didn't really get the spiky hair, but they definitely got the electric blue eyes and the jacket with the black shirt. And yeah, like she has the good looks. I think like I've seen a lot of fan art for Thalia, and for some reason like people never really made her look that pretty. But if you look at the description from the book, like there are two different things that comment on how pretty she is. So I think this AI version of her is, yeah, pretty accurate. I think the only thing is that she didn't have the spiky hair. Also, I actually know, I'm gonna go back on that. I think that she doesn't look goth enough. I will say that. The eyeliner isn't black enough, and yeah, not goth enough. I think she doesn't really have that punk rock goth look as much as I would have hoped it would. So yeah, actually, I guess I said it looked good, but honestly, I'm going to take that back. I don't think it's that accurate. We have Hazel Levesque next. She is described as a teenage girl who is of Louisiana Creole descent, has shoulder-length, curly cinnamon brown hair, gold eyes, is pretty, has dark skin, dark complexion, skin is brown as a roasted coffee bean. She's toned, fit, short, and is wearing a purple shirt. Let's see what AI cooked up for Hazel. Okay, that one's really good. I think that one is spot on. She has the shoulder length hair, definitely like the beautiful brown skin that Frank described her to have. So one thing that I'm pretty embarrassed to admit is the first time I read Heroes of Olympus, I just did not pay attention to the way Hazel was described. I might have been distracted while I was reading. I have the worst ADHD. I think I'm pretty sure I read that part while I was in the middle of an airport, and being that ADHD, it's hard to focus. So I think I skipped over the fact that she was described to have brown, dark skin. And it's funny because one of the traits that I just listed was the thing that made me be like, wait, is she black? And that was, her skin was brown as a roasted coffee bean. And like, I pictured her as white for the entire like early part of the book. And then I read that and I was like, wait a minute. So I Googled Hazel Levesque fan art, and yeah, she's absolutely not white. Obviously now I see her as everybody else does. But overall, yeah, that is pretty much what I pictured, at least after I found out what she really looked like. Okay, who is next? We have Frank Zhang. He is described as a teenage boy of Chinese descent, has a large stocky frame, a fat stomach, a babyish face, damn, really roasting him, has brown eyes, cropped black hair that is cut like a military haircut, looks like a toddler who took steroids. Oh, Frank, you poor guy. And he looks like a koala bear with muscles. This description is out there. And on top of that, he looks like a baby sumo wrestler. Oh my God, Rick Riordan, what are you doing to Frank describing him like this? And on top of that, he's wearing a purple t-shirt that goes with the Roman version of Camp Half-Blood. I'm interested to see what comes up for this, because that was one hell of a description. All right, yeah, got the purple t-shirt, has the Chinese descent for sure, has the babyish face. I wouldn't say that he's big like a sumo wrestler. Had he been a little bit more muscular, I think that it would have been more accurate. Yeah, he's like very strong. Like that's one of his main attributes, but at the same time, he's kind of chubby, which is an interesting combination. Frank has always been an interesting one to me. But I really do love his character. He is just like such a sweet guy. He's like a teddy bear, especially for Hazel. I love their dynamic. And for Frank, like that's his description in the beginning of the book, but I was like, we're gonna do the glow up for Frank. He just had a freaking glow up, both in his looks and in his strength, his power, and just everything about him. So we're gonna go over his glow up. For his glow up and the way he's described later on in the Heroes of Olympus, is a teenage boy of Chinese descent, tall, strong, handsome, lean, warlike handsome, fit enough to play football, and wearing a purple t-shirt. Wow, that description compared to the first one is night and day. Like the first one was crazy. Like a toddler who took steroids, looks like a koala bear with muscles, looks like a baby sumo wrestler. Yes, I can't really get over that. But yeah, night and day with the new description. So let's see what comes up for the glow up Frank. Yeah. Yeah, very, very different and pretty accurate. Yeah, like he has the muscles. He definitely looks a lot less like a baby sumo wrestler. Yeah, still has the Chinese descent. Still, like the hair even looks a lot better. Definitely more handsome. Yeah, that's pretty much what I pictured when he had the glow up. And imagine being Hazel. You really like this guy who doesn't really have the best looks, but has a kind heart. And she falls for him, you know, not really caring about his looks. She only cares about his personality and how down to earth he is. She's like, yeah, I'm all in. And then out of nowhere, she just looks, and all of a sudden the guy that she really likes is just this incredibly handsome, strong guy. She's probably like, wow, okay. I kind of hit the jackpot here. So yeah, I'm glad that I did the glow up version of him and not just the original version of him and how he was described in the early books. I think Frank deserved that. He definitely deserved that. After that, we have Jason Grace, one of the all-time favorite characters in the entire series. He is described to be a teenage boy who was extremely handsome, had regal features of a Roman statue, electric blue eyes, close cropped blonde hair, has a scar on the corner of his lip, is tall, has an athletic build, is taller and more muscular than Percy. Damn, okay. On top of that, he's ruggedly handsome, has tan arms and legs, and is wearing a purple shirt. So yeah, the regal features of a Roman statue. That is going to be interesting to see what the AI does with that. I'm expecting like a really, really, really handsome guy. So let's see. Yeah, like he's a good looking guy. Not as handsome as I had expected when I think they really hyped him up with that description. But yeah, he's like a really, really good looking guy. The blue eyes are really good. The close cropped blonde hair, very nice. They don't have the scar on his lip. And it seems like AI kind of struggles with getting a scar. They couldn't do it with Luke, and now they can't do it with Jason. AI is not perfect at all. Not even close. But yeah, he's also not as muscular as I thought he would be. That's kind of hard to tell because it's just the top half of his body. When you look at him, like you can see why all the girls are like, oh wow. Like you can tell. So I know I said he's like not as handsome as I expected, but I think my expectations were just like through the roof. I don't know why I made those expectations so high. But yeah, overall, like I think that is a very accurate Jason Grace if he was just a little bit more muscular. Next is Leo Valdez. Let's see what AI cooked up for Leo. Interestingly, this one is like more cartoonish than the other ones. I don't really know why AI did that. So yeah, like this, it's weird because like this one, I was hoping to see like realistic versions of the characters, and this one isn't too realistic. Looking past the cartoonish thing, he might be a little bit too handsome, but at the same time, like he pulled Calypso, who as we know is just absolutely stunning based on the description, like the prettiest girl in the world, I think it was. The curly black hair is really good. I think that's the best part of it, the hair. I think they nailed that. I will say that Leo, I just didn't like Leo that much. So the way that Heroes of Olympus is written is it goes from the point of view of Percy, Annabeth, Jason, Leo, Hazel, Frank. Like it goes, they have like 3 chapters for each. And in the beginning, I was kind of like, every time it was Leo, I was like, ugh. But as the series went on, I came to love Leo. I think at first, I don't know why, the sarcastic attitude just rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't really like it, but it really grew on me. And Leo as a character really grew on me too. So I decided not to do like every single god because that would take so long, and like the gods can change their form. So I decided to just do the big 3, which is the siblings Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades. I guess I did Calypso too, who is technically like a Titan. But yeah, I just wanted to do like the big 3. All right, so for Zeus, they described him as a god with shoulder-length black hair, grayish black, neatly trimmed beard, is tall, imposing, muscular, brilliantly electrically blue eyes with a serious and proud but very handsome face, and is wearing a dark blue pinstripe suit. So let's see what AI cooked up. That's actually pretty cool. I don't know what a god would look like, but I guess he could be a god. Got the blue eyes. I love that it got the blue pinstripe suit. They nailed that. Rest in peace to the actor that played Zeus in the series. I think that the Zeus in the series was fantastic. But overall, yeah, I think this Zeus looks really good. I think the slicked back hair, it makes me be like, oh yeah, that's kind of godlike. And the chiseled face looks good. The only thing is the beard was described to be gray, and this one's black. I think that's the only thing. Well, actually, it was grayish black. Yeah, there's a little bit of gray down there, like at the bottom, but I would have liked to see a little bit more gray in there. Anyway, let's move on to Zeus's brother and Percy's father, Poseidon. He is described as a god with black hair and a neatly trimmed beard. He is tall and handsome, has a deep tan, sea green eyes, which is just like Percy, has sun crinkles around his eyes, is wearing a Tommy Bahama shirt and a cap that has fishing lures on it. This one's gonna be interesting. Like you hear that description and you would never just be like, yeah, that's a god. Like that's just not what you would think of as a god, which it really does make Rick Riordan's story like very original. But anyway, let's see what we got. All right, yeah, I like that one. They even got the crinkles a little bit, like the sun crinkles around his eyes. Maybe those are just baggy eyes, I don't know. But yeah, the hat looks pretty good. They don't have like the fishing lures on it, but yeah, the Tommy Bahama shirt, and it matches the hat a little bit. The sea green eyes, I would have liked to see a little bit brighter, more like Percy's. But yeah, overall, like, I think he looks good. The tan skin, he definitely looks like he came from the beach or like lives a beach life, which is exactly what Poseidon in the books was described as. And finally, we have Hades. And he is described as a god who has albino white skin, is very tall and muscular, has intense black eyes that glitter like frozen tar. Interesting. He looks like he has evil charisma, has shoulder-length black hair with bangs that cover his forehead, and is wearing a black flowing robe. Alright, yeah, I actually really like that one. The eyes, yeah, that's crazy. The hair, yeah, pretty accurate. Maybe a little bit longer than the shoulder length. It goes a little bit past the shoulders. But they do have the bangs that are cut, but they don't cover his eyes. That's the only thing. Got the black flowing robes, and it looks like he's in the underworld a little bit. But overall, yeah, this Hades looks really good. But yeah, that's all the characters I'm going to do right now. I might do some later on if you guys like this video and if the video does well. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Unscripted videos are always interesting. My ADHD really makes me go all over the place and go on a lot of tangents, but hopefully you guys found it at least a little bit enjoyable. Again, if you liked the video and think it's worthy of it, like, share, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.